Hello everyone, Krydex here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3, where we're just rolling through, fixing up our base after setting up py2science. It's been 20 hours since we set it up, and we're still not really recovered. There's so much more to do. Did I put more antimony? No. Antimony oxide rebuild. That definitely needs to be on our list as well. But, look at this. At least for the last 10 minutes, or however long this measures, we have been running 18 SPM. Technically a little bit more than 18. Isn't that cool? It's actually working. So that's a fun feeling. That's a really fun feeling. And I'm guessing, yeah, one of them is going to be backing up. Oh, we've got some extra py2 on the wrong belt on the end there, but I think that's only an issue that happened at the very beginning. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we're getting our SPM, the cDNA is filling up a little bit here. It's pretty slow because of the moss. I think the issue is actually the moss, yeah, the rate of insertion here. Let's pick up that pace a little bit. But yeah, we are going to be working on bitumen. Right where we left off, pretty much, and we just need all the bitumen. So, getting this set up. Where were we at? I've almost got, I do have all the buildings made except for the 5 compressors. I'm strongly considering putting them on the east side here rather than going higher. Yeah, I think I will. I mean, it's a little risky to go across because there's already all these connections, so I don't know. Maybe I won't. I've also got all this space. Right, I should probably just put them up here. I don't know why I forgot about this space. Let's use this space nicely. 2, 3, 4, 5. So now that part's done. Okay, so now it's just a matter of connecting millions of connections that are not connected. So we did the residual mixture. We got condensates, we got bitumen, we got steam. So it is just the distillates that are left. We also need to request gasoline. I don't think I'm doing yet. Gasoline. Let's say 50,000. And that is hooked up properly already. So that just needs to be gasoline. Okay. And water, we need how much for that? 750. So 3 doodads for water. Dude. Is this 3 in, 3 out? It is. It's kind of classically nice right there. Beautiful. Okay, and then on the end, I don't know which ones we're gonna want to be doubles. That one I don't. And the residual mixture is hooked up there, which goes all the way up to here, right? Oh, it's not finished building yet, but I'm pretty sure we hooked that up properly. Oh, it's just the pipe, or the top-up valve disconnects it. Okay, that's right. So anyway, this one has the residual mixture output, and that's easy to just wrap around the front here. So then that is now prioritized because the other one is a top-up. We'll do this one correctly. Okay, and then the residual oil comes from down here. So let's move that through the backside. Residual oil will go up. And go to here. And then this needs to be a T-junction. Okay, so then that covers all residual oil. I think. Residual oil comes from only 2 places, right? Yeah. And that's all hooked up. Okay. We're getting there. And then next would be... I don't know, I'm just kind of working my way up here. So we still need to handle distillates. I guess we can hook up the low distillates, since that's what we're doing here. So low distillates, up, and over. Okay, so low distillates is done. So we got the 2 distillates still unhandled. The 3 inputs are now handled here. The residual oil output is handled. The steam is not handled. So cold steam. This cold steam will just go straight. Are you serious? What are the odds? Man, that's just so inconvenient. Cold steam is just like slightly on the wrong trajectory here. So I have to do something like this for cold steam. So it squiggles over. Now I could just move up cold steam 1 tile, swap it with like heavy oil or something. Maybe I should do that, because it'll make this a lot simpler. And then that goes up there. And then now we do this one like that, and this one like this. Though that is kind of annoying. Then we gotta destroy these. Okay, well, there's cold steam. What? Oh, man. Speed this up. Boom, boom, boom. And are these all 1 to 2s? Yeah, okay, those are fine. Heavy oil only goes to the right there. Well, at least for now. That one needs to go left, that one does not. This one does not need to go left. Neither does gasoline. Water does. Okay. Power, 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 power. Power, power, power. Okay. Getting there. Getting there, getting there, getting there. Okay, so outputs, 2 distillates still need to be handled. The heavy oil output is not being handled. So this is byproducts requester. This is gonna be Coke provider. Make it a big one. We already set this up to provide something. What is that providing? Syngas. So then we'll also provide heavy oil here. But do I want heavy oil to be in the super trasher? Because this is byproduct heavy oil? I think I do. Yeah, is there a reason I set up tailings for channel 2? Because we're not actually outputting the tailings. We're doing that processing in here. I think that was old information. So I think we're taking tailings off of 2. Let's put heavy oil onto 2. So now heavy oil's on 2. And that's going to be an overflow of heavy oil that goes onto 2. The reason it's an overflow is because we don't want, we need heavy oil to potentially oil burner hot steam first. But first we need to deal with the coke. This is so complex. First, we want to use coke to do hot steam. So there's so many separate things going on here. Also, we've got each of these 10 coke out, so should I use stack inserters here? I think the answer is yes, because this is just an absurd amount of coke. I don't think I want 6 belts of coke. I think 2 belts is much better. So we are gonna need stack insoitas. This is the most expensive use of stack inserter power that we've used thus far. And each of these is up to 10, so it's like 4 per belt. So we do something like this. I'm just gonna rely on side loading. That's belt number 1. And then this is belt number 2. Okay. And output priority left. Input priority left. And this code comes back around. And those can make up to 6 a second, which I will use regular loaders for. Though, I am gonna have to do it like this. Get onto both sides of the belt. So then we'll input priority onto this belt to make sure this stuff takes priority. So this belt will be the one that goes to make ash first. But the problem is I need 2 full belts still. So do I need something like this? Is that right? Because basically what I don't want is the stuff on the right not getting balanced. Like if these 4 are running, or let's say these 4 are running and these 4 aren't, I feel like we could get into some weirdnesses. Where like this one's backed up because this one never got a chance to override. No, I don't think I need both of these. I think this is fine actually. This just makes sure that this stuff always gets used up. And now this belt can go to regular boilers. And then these 2 are the actual coke providing belts. And then this one, I guess this is what goes to regular boilers. So output party left. Yeah, and then the rest, which probably doesn't need to be 3 belts. So this one isn't doing anything. Yeah, this is correct. Okay. All right. Fill up with Coke here. That goes there. This one comes down. So that's good for Coke. And then Coke oven gas and tailings is all we have left to handle. So how many boilers did we say we needed? I think it's 12. We need ash-wise. Where was it? Lost the number. Where is that number? 8.3. So 8.3. Yeah, 12 boilers is perfect. So we need 12 boilers. Where can we fit 12? I don't want to fit them right here. And then belt the ash up and over. This benzene's a little bit in the way. But otherwise, this is pretty easy. .7 megawatts. Yeah, I think I need regular inserters. So 12 boilers can do something like this with the coal belt or the coke belt passing by. This is the ash belt. Okay, so then what we need is something like this. This will come down. This will wrap around. This is hot steam. Okay. And then the benzene was doing what? Benzene was here? Okay, so let's squiggle that over. And then this hot steam linked up. The water, pretty low amount. How much did we need for the ionic or whatever these things are called, the mixers? Or no, the ionics only need 100. So then we should be able to use the same water here, here, and then there, and then that does need to be two-way. Okay, so there's the water hooked up. The hot steam is not hooked up to anything yet. The coke is now provided. We're getting there. Power, power, power. Okay, and then we need to feed the coke in. And I want to say that does it. So there's the amount of ash that we need. And I know it feels weird using coke to make ash. Someone in the comments is probably gonna roast me for it, but you know, it just feels nice and simple given how this build is already working. Alright, we need 2.5 apiece. Kind of makes me want to use a fast inserter, but I'll just triple up. And that's it. So that's the ash. The residual oil's already hooked up. The mixture's hooked up to recycle back in. And the coke output is set up. The coke output of these is set up to be prioritized. The water input is set up, though it's not powered. And then we just need the oil burner. Hot steam output. Oh, and we need the pressure pumps for the vacuum. Which I think I'll put just underneath here or something. How many does each one make? 100? And I needed, let's pin this again. 390. So, boom. Boom, 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 and boom. All right. We are really close. Oh, this is great. Okay, so now we need the oil burners. And we said we just needed 2. And that hot steam I think I'm actually gonna put them like right here. Okay, so hot steam. Where's our hot steam line? All the way back here. Currently, we just have the overflow hot steam line, which is going to cold steam. So this is the cold steam line. This is... the hot steam line's not connected to anything. So what needed hot steam? This one did. Have I not even hooked that up yet? Ah, right. I was considering moving this whole thing. How many tiles would I need? So I could move this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. And this would have fit in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is all we need. Fine, I'll do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is what I'll do. And I want the power poles to look nice. I'm gonna remove them. And we're gonna place them on a different tile. Which is what I should have done in the first place. But here we are. Alright, and then I can pick these guys up and move them to actually be in line. Here, I do see I just broke a T-junction. What was that, 2? I think that was just... yeah. So weirdly enough, that can now be a 2-way that we're just gonna have to rotate. And then what was this one attaching to? Hot steam. Oh, that was just the steam attachment. which at this point, let's see, hot steam. I mean, I could just go this way. I'll do a forward pipe that way, and then right there. Okay, so that's hot steam. So that should work, and then power-wise, I think the bottom left corner is a safe bet. My bots are not happy with me for doing that. But you know what? They're here to serve. They live to serve. Okay, now I certainly broke some stuff over here. So what was this one hooked up to? This was the low distillates. The low dist, right? Yeah. Which is now here. Okay. And condensates is still hooked up properly. Hot steam is hooked up properly. Okay, so this is hot steam. Provided from up here. Let's think about that. Where does that hook in? I think I just want hot steam to go straight into this network. So this is like the primary hot steam network. And then that can be over here. Okay, so this is primary hot steam. Actually need T-junctions. Primary hot steam, and then I don't know, go up here. Okay. So there's primary hot steam, there's water. Water connects there, goes down, and then finally we need to connect our cog here. I don't have the proper rotation for that one. I'm gonna do that as a reminder. That's actually a great idea. I should do that in the future. Whenever I have a rotation, a special rotation needed, like this one, I'll put a tape line there so I just remember, because I can't change it in the blueprint mode. I have to wait until the bots get here with it. So that's what's going on there. Okay, connect the power for those. I just want to connect the power across a variety of lines here, just to kind of make sure we never lose power. Anyway, the hot steam there and here is being prioritized. I hope it's not too much hot steam, right? It wouldn't be, would it? It's only 90 there and about 90 there, so we're getting about 120 hot steam back. But we needed 500 in the first place. Right? Yeah. Well... And it depends. We need a little bit less steam, but that's cold steam even. I'm talking about this hot steam. So to make the coke and the coke oven gas, oh gosh, this is so tricky. Because we want coke to back up, but we don't want coke oven gas to ever back up. And we need the ash. So we want to make sure we're always using the hot steam that comes from the ash and the coke oven gas first. But then we're going to need some more hot steam than that, I think. Right. because we needed 500 hot steam to make this amount of coke oven gas and need that amount of ash. So I think we'll be okay. And then we can make the rest of the hot steam with some other stuff. But what we haven't done is hooked up the cold steam output on our compressors, right? No, I did. This is so complex. This is so complex. This is all one big cold steam network. The whole shebang. Okay. And we're topping up into the cold steam when we overflow 70% on hot steam. This right here is the hot steam network. Oh, I just hooked the hot steam network up to the syngas network. LOL. That's supposed to be like that. Okay, so this is the hot steam network. And the hot steam network has steam coming in from syngas. And it also has steam coming in from these necessary things that are running. But then we need one more input, I think, to the hot steam, which would be topping up with heavy oil. Am I thinking about all this right? So once we factor in the ash and the whatever, that's another... That gives me about 900. And we're using less than that. But not 500 of it is hot, so we will need to run some of the syngas heating. So that does mean I need to make some hot steam with heavy oil. Like if syngas is backed up, we're not going to have enough hot steam to run this, and it'll jam up eventually because it'll run out of hot steam. So then that's all fine and dandy. But then the cold steam that we make with all of this, we'll just add back into the cold steam network, which will help fuel the bitumen mining in the first place. And then when syngas does run, it'll add more hot steam so that this will be made cheaper and we won't need as much heavy oil to burn. So the question here is, how much hot steam might we need? We make enough cold steam to run this and the mining on its own, so at most we would need 500, which is like 9 oil burners. Okay. So at most we would need 9 oil burners making hot steam. So why don't we set that up? What's this? I feel like we can squiggle that if we need to. Can I fit them right here? I think I can just fit them right here. So let's do 9 oil burners on hot steam. Oof, barely fits. Okay. And then AFH right, AFH left. Waters pass through. No! Whoops. Don't hold shift when you do that, by the way. Okay. And then water consumption wise, that's gonna be like 2 pump jacks here. And then I guess we didn't need to squiggle thing on the left. Oh man, this is crazy, this build. I love it. I've really enjoyed this. This has just been like a constant puzzle. Okay, and then this is heavy oil that we need here. So we actually do want this one to go that. And then that will come down and over. I can't. Shoot. It'll be on this layer then. Okay, so that'll be heavy oil connection to there. And then we have the heavy oil overflowing. So heavy oil will primarily go here first. And then this is topping up hot steam. How did vacuum get into that pipe? Not really certain. That one needs to go that way, so I fixed that. Where even is my vacuum? Ooh, I've lost it. Oh, it's up here. How did that happen? No idea. All right. And then we gotta fix this one to be that way. Okay. So then this hot steam, the final thing we need to do is pop up here. We'll say to like 40% or 30% is fine. Even 20% is fine. Because we've got a huge storage behind it, right? So like, heck, I think 10% is fine. So that will keep us buffered with hot steam from heavy oil. And then the rest of the heavy oil can get exported. Now the question is, do I need to dump heavy oil? I think the answer is yes. And it feels weird, but we're already exporting steam. So I need another dumpage here. Or no, sorry, it needs to be on this end. And the reason is because there are times where we need the cold steam. Well, now, am I just being dumb? Hold on. Because I'm considering consuming low distillates and gasoline and wasting the heavy oil just as a form of making cold steam. And to do that, if we've run out of cold steam, we may need to actually dump heavy oil. But instead, I could just burn that heavy oil into units of steam itself. And that would obviously be more effective. But I need to consume all the low distillates one way or another, right? Yeah, part of the whole point of this thing is to consume the low distillates. It'll cost me some gasoline is the only downside, but we're talking like 5 gasoline a second. That's a tiny bit of light oil. So you know what? I'm just gonna leave it that way. So that way we never back up on heavy oil. There is a world where I need, because we're only topping up to, there is a weird world where I need to top up, let's see, how do I measure this? If we have too much hot steam, we already have handled that though. But if we have too much heavy oil, because where else is hot steam coming from? Oh, the syngas. Right. The syngas is the format where the hot steam could overflow into become cold steam. The other thing we could do is we could set up a pump that, because right now the steam from heavy oil is only topping up to 10, but what we could do is we could pump a separate pump that enables if we have, how would we enable it? It would be if this, basically we could have a tank here, and if that tank has any heavy oil in it, and that's condensates. Where's heavy oil? if this has heavy oil and we have enough hot steam already, I don't know if I want to handle all that. I think I'm gonna leave it as is for now. It just feels really wasteful though. Because now we might run out of cold steam. We basically want this to be able to make cold steam too, if it's already got the hot steam. Should I just have it top up the cold steam as well? You know what? That might be the solution. Because then we only do that if we're running out of cold steam. So first we top up the hot steam, and then, and only then, let's see, I do need a little tank in here. Okay, so only if we have enough would this pump turn on. And so this will only be on if steam is greater than, let's say, 5,000. And in that case, then we're willing to top up cold steam, which is accessible somewhere. Where's the nearest cold steam? Well, this one is just the cold steam network. So we can do a T-junction here. Oh my god. Do you see all these lines? And we'll just top up cold steam to like 20% of that network. So this way we will burn heavy oil to make cold steam if I am not using all the hot steam to top this network, let's say up to 20%. That way it deals with fluctuations a little better. So heavy oil will go to hot steam first. It'll all get pumped into there, and then if this starts to back up and fill up bigger and bigger and bigger, then eventually it'll get pumped out into topping up the cold steam if we have not enough cold steam already. I guess we want to top up the cold steam. Now here's the real question. I want that to be a bigger priority than train requests though. And trains are requesting cold steam up to 35,000 out of 75,000, which is what percentage? 35, oh, wrong button. 35 out of 75 is 50%. So I actually need this to top up 50% on cold steam. And something else was topping up to 50% on cold steam. That's the problem. Right? Cold steam. No? Oh, maybe not. I think that was... I think I had thought about it for a second and then removed it. I think I was topping up with the train. That's what I was doing for a second, but then we removed that idea. Okay. So top up to 50% should work fine then. And then if we have too much, then that flows in. Too much hot steam. Which would only be as a result of syngas making. Otherwise, we're not going to see too much hot steam. We'll need to supplement it is the word I'm looking for, with heavy oil. Okay. Now, I want to say we're done. Do you guys think it works? Do you think this madness works? What are the chances that I've set everything up properly and I have to make 0 edits? That's probably like 5 or 10% is what I give myself, that I'd have to make 0 edits. I think there's a decent chance it's most of the way there. We worked pretty hard on this, and I think I was cooking pretty well. I was coking pretty well. Coking gas oil pretty well here. But I do think there's going to be some issues. And the other thing I'm a little uncertain of is this. Did we hook up all the pipes correctly? I hope so. I guess we'll find out. So I'm going to go ahead and drive down there because this is a momentous occasion. I need to name all these train stops too. Man, this is crazy. This is easily the biggest build I've made yet. I mean, it's bigger than a lot of builds that were just one building type. So I am proud of this. Okay. Well, we are approaching the moment of truth. Let's do some train stop naming. Okay, so you are bitumen, trash provide 1. You are bitumen, trash provide 2. What are these doing again? Ah, soot. Ah, soot. And I am requesting soot, right? I just want to double check that. Yeah. Okay, so soot's good. This is filtration media for bitumen. This is naphtha plus oxygen. Naphtha. Yeah. O2. Is it O2? I guess it is. No, just say oxygen. For bitumen. This is gasoline plus cold steam for bitumen. Now, we can do a multi-request, right? I had thought about that for a second. I was like, should we delete these? But then I was like, wait, we should be able to do a multi-request, right? Like, it's requesting water and gasoline, and according to it, it has gasoline and water, but that water is just being translated. Oh. It also thinks we have steam here as well. I feel like that could be a problem. I don't think it's a problem, but I'm gonna make sure it's not a problem. So in this case, the steam is the only signal that gets interpreted. And then the green does not go to here. There we go. So it just sees water. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, we're about to get some gasoline in. Uh-oh, does that change? Hold on. There we go. That's what I meant to do. Uh-oh. Does it see red as different? I just deleted 75,000 gasoline. That's fine. I don't actually know how it combined. Surely it's combining those signals, right? Yeah, there's only one shipment incoming. Okay. Also, for shale oil, should I have... like I should have a extra container for gasoline here. 'Cause that just feels wasteful on the gasoline end. And yes, it'll mess with the numbers, like it'll think gasoline's not available, but mainly I just want a bigger buffer size. And technically this wastes some gasoline by not, you know, having a pump. I guess I could just put a pump. See, I've already got a pump. I've already got a gasoline buffer here. So, whatever. We'll just not mess with the science I already set up. Okay, continuing to name these. Sorry, we got distracted. So this is nothing yet? No, this is syngas. I think this is syngas. Yeah. This is syngas from bitumen. So that's good. And then this is nothing. I think this is literally nothing right now. And then this is your fluid trash provide. Bitumen FTP1, bitumen FTP2. And then this is tailings, fluid side request. Tailings for benzene. And then this is coke from bitumen provide. Okay. I think I'm ready. Y'all, this is maybe gonna go horribly wrong, but I'm hooking this up. We're doing it. Eee! Here we go. Oh gosh. There it is. Oil sand. Oil sand goes to crushed oil sand. Ah! The stone! Hold on. Panic. This one, thankfully, is not a hard fix. Okay. Got ahead of that one. We also didn't hook up the... Okay, so this is already 2 mistakes we found. Okay. And those are gonna steal oil sand for a while. Until these start running. Okay, there's the crushed oil sand. But as soon as these get crushed oil sand, that should get us our first oil sand slurry, which will immediately backfill into this one to make bitumen froth. There we go. And then as soon as we have bitumen froth, that will come... You know, I'm gonna go to map view here. There we go. Bitumen froth is a go. We should see our tailings light up as well as the initial bitumen making. And there it is. Bitumen making is going. And dirty syngas is now going. Oh my goodness. And dirty syngas is not connected, it looks like. Yeah, we don't have dirty syngas connected. Also, how much oxygen does this use? 125 a second? Yeah, we're gonna need an oxygen plant, by the way. Anyway, so we'll fix that. And bitumen cracking is not connected to hot steam. I swear we did that. Oh, we don't have any hot steam yet. Partially because of bitumen cracking. Okay, so bitumen does the dirty syngas. Is that hooked around the back? Maybe it was at some point, but I seem to have removed that. Let's remove that one. Here, let's fix this. So that goes like that. This one goes like that. And then we've got this guy and a corner. And then a T-junction here. That guy. and L. Okay, I'm gonna go manually get those built. So small issue there, but looks like it's fixed. Purified syngas is going into both sides now. Okay, there we go. And why are they... Okay, they're still all right because of purified syngas. Purified syngas is out of bitumen. Bitumen is out of bitumen froth. Bitumen froth is jammed up on tailings. I never connected the tailings across, I think is the problem. Okay, so tailings... So what is this? We're up to like 5 different issues now that we've made. Tailings... We connected down to where? We did down to here, it looks like. Oh, I just didn't hook up the tailings from over here. Where are the tailings hooked into? They're not. It's that simple. They're just not. Okay. So that one needs to go that way. Tailings go over, down. Tailings here. Like this. We can go across. Across and up. Okay. Let's get that fixed. Ooh, I see some lead ore happening. Okay, there we go. So now tailings are getting escaped. And bitumen's running again. Why is that one not running? Okay, it's just short on ingredients. Purified syngas is running. Cold water slurry seems to be running. Alright, so purified syngas is running. Now, how about the hot syngas? I think we forgot to hook that up. Yeah, we did. So that's the last thing here we need to do. So that comes out here, goes down, and then I just never did a connection point? Or what happened there? The connection point's right here. There we go. Now we're running hot syngas. Beautiful. And that hot syngas is running the syngas, and now we have infinite syngas. Oh, that feels good. And now the hot steam's here, and that's going to start up the cracking. Oh, everything's working. Now the cracking's working, and all the distillates... Oh, I didn't take care of the middle distillates. I'll have to do that in the next episode. Medium and low are just going to jam up real quick. And I never connected the gasoline input here either. So, where are we gonna put that, by the way? I have to, like... I'm gonna have to just go across here. Which is maybe not my favorite idea, but that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so gasoline input's hooked up for that part. And yeah, we're just jammed up on the distillates. But look, we do see coke happening up here, so this part seemed to do its job. Coking oil and all that jazz. And we don't have cold steam hooked up. That's probably because... Yeah. We'll have to request some more. Yeah, we're out of cold steam right now. And we haven't made any heavy oil because the low distillates aren't hooked up? Or wait, what's going on with that? Wait a second. Oh, I connected high to low. Oh gosh, and these aren't filtered for ash. Alright, are we up to like 10 mistakes now? To be fair, none of them are catastrophic. Like, I'm still feeling like we've done a pretty good job here, but... Still. Definitely have had more mistakes than I thought we did. Just goes to show how hard it is to actually design these things perfectly. It's so hard to get it right. Alright, I am gonna get rid of some coke from my inventory. Alright, so that's going again. And I hooked up the wrong distillates. Okay, so wrong trousers here. So I did high. We needed to do low, which is this one. Like that. And okay, so that's good now. Once gasoline, the pipes get built there. Okay, and then that should give us additional steam once the heavy oil's going. So, oh, and then flue gas is jacked up. What did I do with flue gas? Flue gas goes to here and is being provided. And again, I think we want a gigantic buffer for flue gas. But we need an overflow. Lost one. So that's good. There's some more cold steam. So it seems to be processing properly. Lead ore is capped, which is what we wanted. Okay. I mean, things are happening. And I think they're mostly the things we intended for. Okay, so now we're short on low distillates. So now it's just the medium distillates are jammed up. Okay, that is getting to 5,000 already. Because we already have plenty of hot steam from the hot syngas running. So pretty soon the cold steam is going to start cycling through from the syngas production. And then that will help out a lot with that. So really, right now, I just need to decide what to do with medium distillates. And I think the answer is, for now, this. And what am I doing? Medium distillates here. Okay. And then we're gonna overflow 90. And then I'll just do one single one for the high distillates. There. There. Okay. So that's what we're doing for now. I know that's not the best solution, but I don't have titanium tetrachloride, so I can't really manage that yet. So we'll get that overflow going, and then, I mean, I think we're pretty golden here. Did we ever... That's output steam, not input. Well, things seem to be running properly, which I'm surprised at. We are out of cold steam. But look, this is already at 100,000. And as soon as it hits, what's 70%? Like 170,000 or something. Then it'll start giving us back cold steam from the syngas process. So we probably only need like one more train full of cold steam until the system is self-running. There's more oxygen. This is so satisfying. And then it looks like benzene and aromatics are looking good. I can also, we didn't even talk about this, I could use benzene as a fuel. We could get so much hot steam from benzene. Because we're going to be dumping benzene before we know it. So much is going to go in here. I don't think you can turn benzene directly into anything, right? I mean, benzene plus iron oxide alone makes styrene. Oh, never mind. Styrene's not useful. I mean, it is useful. Sorry, I rephrased that. Benzene and ethylene make plastic. But that's in purple science. Monochlorobenzene, MCB. That's just part of another thing. Yeah, benzene by itself doesn't do much. It's just utilized in other stuff. And benzene barrels are not used either. So. Benzene's, yeah, mostly just good for a fluid fuel, weirdly enough. But this will save us on Nexalate and BTX not needing to ever be turned into benzene. And strip distillates will never be needed to turn into benzene. So now our strip distillates can focus on probably cumene first, then gasoline, and then methanol. And strip distillates are medium distillates, by the way. So being able to skip needing to make benzene this way is nice, because then we can focus on those three. And gasoline will be a low priority provider, because we probably already have gasoline from light oil, so there's that. Alright, surely these are almost built, right? Almost. Okay, the medium's hooked up at least. And there's the high. Okay, so now these should fire back up again, yeah. And wait, what's the thing that makes tons of cold steam? It's these, right? Yeah, these make tons of cold steam. So that should then fire all these back up again, because these needed the cold steam. Okay. And now we've got gobs of heavy oil running around. And did I make a big container for that? Not really. Just a normal sized one. I probably need a tank of some size here. For a little bit of a heavy oil buffer there. Yeah, we're already spitting out, gosh, 10,000 heavy oil. What am I gonna do with all this? I mean, I definitely should... I know I need to be done with this episode, but feels like this would be a good time for FP fungible. Our old friend FP, actual fluid, heavy oil, mask fluid, pressurized air. And this is a very high priority because this is literally like, this would have gone in the trash otherwise. So this goes at priority 3. It literally is just going in the sinkhole, or whatever it's called. Yeah, sinkhole. So then that means at 90% overflow, it starts flowing into this. And then, why did I just delete that? And then that pumps into a new thing, and then at 90% overflow, that gets sinkholed. But first, it will get turned into delicious fuel for things like smelteries and such. Which, you know, there's something to be said for like setting up this fungible fluid fuel system. Pretty big deal. Because we just end up getting so much free fluid fuel. And I could set up another one for benzene right here as well. And it's like, we're never gonna run out of fluid fuel for stuff like smelteries. At some point, I should just make a gigantic build for hot steam from oil burners. I mean, should I be powering my base with all this? I'm considering it. I have so much fluid fuel just sitting around doing nothing. Like, I've got this benzene that's just gonna go in the trash that I could turn into... I mean, each of these makes 14 megawatts worth of power. So how much would a gigawatt look like? Like this right here, a gigawatt would only be 6 of these? No, are you serious? I should totally do that. I should really do that. Oh, hold on. This little tank. Do we have one? We do. I should get it built. I don't want to wait for the bots. There we go. I don't know, man. I'm starting to wonder if we should just go nuts and power our base with oil burners. With this fungible fluid system, it really does feel like we have the ability to make an absurd amount of power really easily. Now the question is, one train full of heavy oil is actually not that much power though. That's part of the problem. 25,000 times 800 kilojoules. How much power is that? 25,000 times the 800 kilojoules. So this is kilojoules we're calculating. So we divide by 1,000 to get megajoules. Divide by 1,000 to get gigajoules. 20 gigajoules. So it's like only 20 seconds worth of power for my base. And that's quickly going to become not enough power. Especially as power requirement. Like, imagine our base needs 10 times the amount of power that it needs right now. Then it's starting to look a little worse. So maybe it's not the best idea. But it would definitely work for a while. I think we could pretty easily get 500 megawatts of power out of all our various fluid fuels or something. I'm trying to think of, is there a way I can hook up benzene and heavy oil here? I would need, how would I do it? I would need some circuit logic. I don't know if it's worth it. I think it's probably easier to just add a second station with benzene, which I will. Benzene, pressurized air. Again, priority 3, or was it 4? I'll just say 5. I don't remember what the priority was. The priority on that one is 3. Yeah, let's do priority 5. And then, yes, I did see I broke this. Don't worry. For once, Krydax saw it. And then, before we get trashed, we'll come up and then over to there. And then hook that up to there. And then we need an overflow there. Okay. Well, now I feel very good about fluid fuel. I will say that. And it's looking like we're still low on cold steam, though. Syngas is already backed up at 500,000. That's crazy. Okay, well, this syngas provider needs to be a high priority. I'll say 2. Sweet. Uh-oh. How did tailings get... Oh, screwed that up. Okay. Thought I saw that. Support tailings. And that's a low priority request. Right. So basically, if we have... This is almost like a final trash situation. Tailings can go to everything else first. And this is only requesting byproduct tailings in the first place. But if we have byproduct tailings that aren't going anywhere else, then they can come here and get turned into benzene and aromatics, which is the system that we want. Okay, now why is nothing running? I think it was again a cold steam issue. Part of the issue is because we're not using any coke. And that's going to mean we're not producing the medium distillates that we might want from this. It's like actually annoying. I might ditch residual mixture, which is a really weird thing to do. But I might need a system that says if we have too much residual mixture, start dumping some of it. Because it's really not doing anything for me if it's just sitting there anyway. And we already have all the coke that we need. And processing that coke into further useful things is tricky, because other than graphite, it doesn't really make much by itself. We could make a huge acetylene build, but again, that's building a lot more, and you know, we don't really need the acetylene right now. I could make free CO2 with it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think for now... let's see, where's the residual mixture? So the residual mixture needs to have some sort of tank attached. Let me highlight this. And that tops up... Okay, now I have a new question. Do I need to ditch both residual mixtures? No, I don't need to ditch that. I only need to ditch the OG one. So the OG one is this one. And we need to have some sort of logic on ditching that. Which we will run with a pump. And a combinator. Okay. And we'll say output trash, symbol. If trash is 1, you can be enabled. Okay. And we'll want to do a mixture of things. I guess we just want to measure the coke here? Is that it? That might be all we need to do. I can't use a green wire. That was stupid of me. I always need to use a red wire for secondary attachments. Okay, but anyway, if coke is greater than 14,000 and residual mixture is greater than 9,000, then we'll go ahead and trash it. Because I think I do want to process bitumen into low, medium, and high distillates. Because those will still back up, right? Or will they not? Well, I guess we have to do the classic system where we only run it if we need all 5 things. And everything gets trashed when it's too high. But then we're measuring, like if I have enough medium, enough high, enough coke, and enough heavy oil, which is the low distillates. If I have enough of all of those, then we can turn this off. Because it is it costing me anything? No, the filtration media is only for the syngas route, so this isn't really costing me anything except power and steam, which I'm creating my own steam anyway. And look, we're already backing up on heavy oil, like not using all of it. So yeah, I don't know. I think that might be the play. For now, it'll run infinitely until I tell it to turn off. So we also need to measure heavy oil on the red channel. And specifically, this heavy oil. Because this is the heavy oil that determines, like, that's recycling heavy oil, and then there's the, yes, and then there's trash heavy oil, and then there's powering that stuff heavy oil. But this is the heavy oil that if this one's full, I'm okay with things, with this one stopping for a minute. I don't think I want to run this just for heavy oil, right? And by that I mean heavy oil for the base. But it can't flow backwards, so we could run out of steam heavy oil, but we're getting steam back from syngas cracking. But I guess... So then we'd stop making surplus steam if all of these outputs are backed up. Then the syngas route is not going to have quite enough cold steam to supply itself. Because we need more for that, and only like 400, but we would end up short on steam. So there's a part of me that wants to also measure the cold steam storage, maybe. So if cold steam is low, then we keep running it instead of heavy. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, but I think we'll measure the cold steam, which is here. So if cold steam is maybe above like 30,000, and heavy oil is above 60,000, and coke is above 14,000. Like, that's the kind of stuff we're figuring out for, like, these buildings to actually run. So we are going to need another decider combinator, and that's going to output a red stop signal at some point when all the conditions are met. But it needs to be everything, even including the distillates I haven't touched yet. We need heavy oil to be above 60 grand. We need steam to be above 30 grand. We need coke to be above 14,000. We'll say like 11,000. Because it'll, you know, one train load is what, 2,000? Maybe 12,000? That way it doesn't just start running because I don't know, it's fine. All right, I really gotta go. I'm sorry for the episode length. It felt like a bad stopping point, but yeah, I'm really happy with this. This bitumen build is awesome. I'm a huge fan of it. I highly recommend it just because it's so fun to set up. If you thought this looked like a nightmare, then don't do it. But I thought it was a blast. Bitumen is a blast, and we were able to fit it all in one city block, just barely. I mean, we used a lot of this city block. But it's great. Anyway, as always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you all in the next one.